Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be taking a look at items I'm speculating in, long-term holds, things I'm currently building or planning on building, and basically just a general overview of what I'm up to. And hopefully the video will be a bit more exciting than that general introduction. So I've created a new hangar, and this is the stuff that generally I'm speculating on and intending on holding. I'm buying up at the moment, or have been buying up, and I'm going to give you a couple of breakdowns to why I'm holding on to these and why I think they'll probably go up in the near future. So straight off we've got the Nano repair paste, and this is to repair damaged modules after a fight or engagement. It's a very popular item. A lot of people obviously buy it for their ships, PvP ships, and it often gets destroyed, so there is huge amounts bought on a daily basis. Now, as you can see, I've got a buy order down here, which the price has moved up by 200 ISK per unit. Not groundbreaking, but we can see here per the graph that obviously we are at relative lows at the moment. Anything below the 20 mark is a decent buy. Now obviously prices have been going down quite a lot over the current period, and that's generally because PI has been hammered. A lot of people are doing more of it due to the changes that CCP made to mining and other activities, and I don't generally do PI because I don't like it a huge amount, but it is a relatively passive and it is a half decent way of making some ISK, so a lot more people have been getting into it, and obviously that has driven down the price. However, sooner or later CCP hopefully will reverse some of the changes they've made. People will go out and do other things and the price will get back to, well, I'd be happy at 25k to be perfectly honest. That's probably a sell point for me. You can see it does fluctuate around here, or has done in the past quite a lot, so I'd imagine I would be happy with that. I've not got a huge amount of paste at the moment. I've got just under 4 bills there, and that is 200,000 units. Now skipping back here, as you can see, there are 1 million, 500,000, 750,000 units sold per day, so I've not even got a day's worth there in my stock. Now obviously I'm probably not the only person that's holding this hoping it will go up, but obviously due to the huge amounts that are sold on a daily basis, I'm not really worried that I'm going to get stuck with mine. So next we have the Fullerized. I've been buying this up. As I said, I bought this at about 630, 640 per unit, and since buying it the price has increased quite a lot, but we've kind of hit a cap at the moment. But again, I'm not particularly worried that this is going to be a problem to move, and I'm quite happy to hold on to it. Again, the same reason for the drop here is moon mining, due to the fact that a lot of things have been nerfed via CCP at present. A lot more people have been mining the moons that have been available in nullsec and lowsec, and obviously more people are doing stuff, the price has dropped corresponding to the amount of people doing it. Now obviously the price is starting to rise. That could be people speculating. The raw materials that go into making this have gone up slightly, so that will account for some of it. So again, this is a long-term hold for me. I would ideally be wanting to sell it around about the 1,000 mark, which should give me a decent markup on that. And as you can see here, that makes up I've got 8 billions worth of that at the moment, so that is a good portion of stuff that I'm holding. So if we look back at the graph, I've got roughly a day's worth of stock here that I'm going to hold on to. So again, when it does come time for selling, it should go pretty quickly. Now again, I don't want to be stuck with huge amounts of stock potentially that is, going to take me months to get rid of, and that's why generally I'm choosing items that have quite a large volume of sales, and again still quite a bit of upside on the graph there. And as you can see, quite dramatically down for a couple of months, and has been increasing dramatically in the upside. But as I said, we've stalled a bit, but I'm not overly concerned with that. Again, hold. Next we've got the drone AI, the elite drone AI, and this again has been hovering around here for a good amount of time. Prices have dropped obviously considerably, and whether they'll actually go back up, I'm not 100% sure, which is why I've not got a great deal. I've got 2 billions worth here. Now the thing that initially made these really sell well was the excavators which were used on the Aurora core. Now these take 50 per drone, and obviously you get 5 drones on Aurora core, so it's 250. Now obviously people aren't using the Aurora core as much, and therefore the demand has dropped somewhat and stabilised around, so say the 175 to 2 million mark. Now my concern with these is I don't necessarily expect the Aurora core, but basically obviously we've had the changes to distribution or etc, and CCP keeps telling us they're getting back into an area that they're happy with. Now obviously they're not going to just reverse all the changes, because basically over the course that will just put us back into the exact same position we were in obviously before they did the distribution nerf. So I'm not sure how they're going to do it, whether they will nerf the Aurora core directly or the belts or what they generally have in mind, but basically something is going to change, and so I'd like to see AI prices go back up here, but I'm still skeptical whether that's going to happen. Now obviously as it is currently relatively stable, that means the demand supply is currently okay at the moment, so I'm not particularly worried it's going to drop, but I can't see it getting back up to where it was, and again for that reasons just outlined. So that's why I'm not really increasing the amount that I'm holding on this at present. Now obviously that will change depending if CCP does announce what it's doing, or whether distribution ends and what their plan is after that, but at the moment it's a bit of a guess and I'm not overly confident on these doing anything. So next we have the guidance systems. I've not got a great deal of these at the moment. I'm trying to increase the amount that I have. Let's get that changed. So at the moment, same thing, PI, or most PI items are down at their very lowest or near as they probably are going to be. Now again, when things change I expect this to go back up, and there is quite a lot of upside on here, so I'm buying for what, 58, 59, 60, and potentially we could quite easily get back up to 85, 90 when things reverse, assuming again they do reverse in some kind of meaningful way. Whether people stick doing with PI, I have no real idea, to be perfectly honest with you, but I can see obviously people dropping off to do other things, because although PI can be relatively passive and has an okay income, less people will do it when they have other things to do, because just fitting so many things in can be a bit of a pain. But maybe now that people have started it they may not stop, who knows. But I obviously use guidance systems for manufacturing drones, and I do manufacture quite a lot of drones, so the fact that if the price doesn't actually change much over the course, I can actually just use these in production, and as long as the price stays relatively stable I'm not going to lose out on these. And with anything I can obviously see them climbing back up. Now again I want to increase the amount I've got here for that very reason, so more of them definitely is what I'm after at the moment. Again, where I'll stop with that I'm not quite sure, it depends obviously on liquid cash and how long I have to hold it, because again some of these could be a 6-month hold, but you know, on 20 billion ISK, if I wait 6 months and everything goes up by 30-40%, I'll be very happy all in all. And lastly, again, robotics, same thing with the guidance systems, that they pretty much go into vast majority of Tech 2 stuff that I produce, and therefore I can always use them. I produce a lot of vigilante stuff for weapons, and you know, I'm not going to get stuck with these, even if they drop off, which again I can't see. Same thing with the guidance systems, we've kind of hit a low here. We have had a bit of a recovery, but we have stalled. But these aren't short-term holds, these are long-term, happy to sit on them. And again, if the price only goes back up to 70, 80, it's still ISK that I'm going to make for literally just holding on to something, and that I can live with. With the robotics, I'd like to add some more. So yeah, let's get that done. So let's go for another 10,000 of that. So yeah, just to add, so we're at 32 billion at the moment. And again, just where I'm going to stop, I'm not 100% sure. It's how much confidence I have in the short to medium term that these are going to go up, and how much money or ISK that I can basically put to one side and not really care about, because again, I could put this potentially into a blueprints and make a semi-decent return, but some of these could obviously skyrocket and I could end up almost doubling my ISK on some of the items. So let's have another check just here. So not quite doubling, but it will go up by 25 to 30%. And obviously it's easier to sell these if the market does go up than it is sometimes to sell some of the capital BPOs, which can take a little while to sell. So at the moment, obviously, a lot of them are at their lowest prices, so I'm not likely to get stuck, as we've discussed. But yeah, how long I'm going to have to hold them is anybody's guess. So you may recall the holding video. I'm now down to 66 billion ISK in my hangar, and slowly decreasing, getting rid of some of the stuff, selling it off. At the moment, sell orders, I've got 20.9 billion, so I've got quite a lot outstanding in sales at the moment, and 6.8 billion in buys. So a decent amount of ISK tied up there. Again, if I can sell some stuff, that's not including contracts. I've obviously got quite a lot of other capital BPOs that I do need to start shifting, with 19 billion sat there. And regards to filaments, I've got 7.5 billion here now. These have been stacking up. I've been purchasing quite a good number of the dark filaments, and that's because I run quite a lot of the dark filaments, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough to run these comfortably. And yeah, I probably gone a bit OTT. As you can see, I've got some of the agitated. I was hoping we were going to go up in price, but they haven't. The fierce ones, again, I was hoping maybe these might go up, but when I started buying them, they were obviously in the 100,000 mark, somewhere around there. You can see there I've got one for 122. How long's that been on for? Come on. Not all that long. So that's where I was generally buying them up. So again, I could sell them at the moment and make quite a nice profit, but for the time being I'm going to hold on to them. Not because I think they might go up, but because I could sell them and make ISK right now, but I do enjoy running them, and with all of these combined I have more than enough to get on with. The raging, I have been buying a few, but not a great deal. I've been hanging on to these over the months. I've not really been selling them off, and that's because they've been selling at such a pathetic price that it's not really been worth getting rid of. So basically I've just been hanging on to a lot of the Firestorm ones that I've been getting, and at one point I did start buying them up, hoping they were going to go up. Now Firestorms are awkward to run because they give the Triglavians, or the things in the Abyss, extra armour, and that's always a pain because it takes you longer to destroy them. So they're not massively popular, and obviously with the abyssal effects, the higher the tier, the more that they get. So obviously in higher abyss sites, that they become incredibly hard to run. And as you can see here, the cataclysms are going for 2.4 million ISK, where if we have I'm not even going to look, but basically if we look at the cataclysms electrical, you're looking at 40-50 million ISK a piece. So you can basically tell that nobody runs these, or that's not fair, that there are obviously people that run them, but they are hard going, and that is because of the huge amount of extra armour things get. The more armour, the more time it takes, and one of the biggest factors in abyssal running is obviously time. So I think to finish off, we'll have a look. I've got some rapids that I've been working on, and again, I do like a bit of industry. It's where I get off. So I've got these BPCs that are 23 runs. I did use data cryptors, and I will do a video in the coming future in regards to data cryptors. Now we're going to assume, or take them back down to 1, and this is where the magic happens. So to build, I'm going to do this in jitter. We can see we've got 2.59, so we're around that to 2.6. 2.6, 2.7, 2.750, 2750, plus invention costs, so we're looking at 290. 290. Let's have a look. I know what they're selling for, but you guys don't. So 3.5. 3.5 minus 290 would give us 600k. But we have to minus off tax, which is nigh on 200k. So that gives us a half decent profit of 400k per unit. And so with that, in regards to buying stuff, now people often ask me, do I just buy straight off the market? And the answer to that is, a lot of the time, yes, I will just buy it straight off. And that's because, again, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to build beforehand, so to stack up on items that I don't necessarily know that I'm going to be using is a waste, and therefore if the price drops I wouldn't end up building this. So a lot of the time, if it's profitable, I'll buy it straight off the market. However, obviously I've been buying up robotics, and each one of these takes 11. Well, as it currently stands, we are buying robotics at the moment, so I'm quite happy to use the robotics, which saves me 6,000 times 11 is 66,000 ISK. Now obviously when I'm doing my calculation, I don't take that extra 66k per unit into profit as such, because again, I'm not making that profit on the construction of the rapids. That would be on a trading profit. So as long as I can make ISK by buying the items straight off the market, then anything that I can gain extra by buying it from a buy order is obviously extra, but I don't include that in my overall profit calculation when looking, because obviously if this item wasn't profitable and the only way to make it profitable was to buy the items from buy orders, then you're not actually making a profit from building it, you're just making the profit from the buy order itself. So if I was only going to make 66k profit, I may as well just buy them here and sell them here and not go through the hassle of actually manufacturing. Now obviously the argument comes that you can obviously use quite a lot of these in production, and that makes it easier to sell. I don't really buy that, to be perfectly honest. Most items sell pretty fine on their own, so if we take the quantums here, if we could build these or buy them, sell them, and there's enough volume there that they will move. I'm not going to be building enough of these, but basically it's going to make any real difference that I couldn't just buy and sell. So that's how I look at it. As long as I am making a profit straight off from buying it straight off the market, then I am happy that I am, oh dear, where's it all going wrong? But I am obviously making a decent amount of profit there. So that's how we generally do it, to ensure that we are making or maximizing. And again, any extra that I'm making, due to the fact that I have bought some stuff off buy orders. How come this doesn't work anymore? It used to. Right. And that way, so as I said, any extra that I'm making is just gravy on top. It just means that the items that I am producing are just making me more ISK. But as I said, that isn't factored in initially when making the cost of whether it is profitable to make the item straight off. Now we don't want to do that. So we've got them installed now. It gives us 253 if we sell them at roughly the current market price, assuming nothing weird and wonderful happens. In the next day I'll make 100 million ISK from selling them. So yes, that video, or this video, has gone on a little longer than I anticipated. I thought it would be relatively short, but it seems to have dragged on quite a long time, so my apologies for that. But I think obviously with the speculation stuff, if I don't give you any kind of context behind why I'm buying it, then it's a bit useless just to say I'm buying this, this and this. So I wanted to really drill deeper into the the reasonings and my thought process behind the speculation part, and how and what I intend to do with it going forward, timelines, why you know, why it's dropped, why I feel now is a good time to buy, etc. So yeah, that obviously took a majority of the time. So thanks for sticking with it if you made it this far. If you haven't subscribed, then please do. Drop a like, drop a comment, ask me anything. I mean, I'm doing my best to reply to half-decent questions that I feel warrant an answer. And yeah, again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you soon.